Good morning, brothers and sisters, and all my friends. I would like to talk about the greatest crisis of 21st century. We have the context, and we also have this crisis on our hands. And this crisis of 21st century is that there had been in the past and there is now same crisis is building up, and it has gathered a very big dust and the power of a tornado. And this crisis is that the holy tongue of the truth is being mortgaged by the business interests, by the problem of humanity, the greed, insatiable greed and gluttony of few people. And this had been the cause, the prime cause of the degeneration of the humanity towards falsehood. Today we have reached the singularity of falsehood all around us. And why it is happening? Because the Brahma Yogi has become a Brahma Rakshasa, because he is only after the self-glory and self-aggrandizement, and to satisfy his insatiable greed and gluttony. He is no more a Brahma Yogi. He is not practicing renunciation. He is practicing self-glory. In the past, when the Brahma Yogi, the holy tongue of Brahma Yogi, the tongue of truth, was mortgaged to the business interest of Mahajan. And the great Mahajan was the custodian of the money, the social resource, became a Mudra Rakshas. So now we have at hand, in the past, of course, this was the cause of the degeneration of the moral and character and collective character of the whole society and the whole family of mankind. And this tongue of truth, the sacred tongue of truth, was with the Brahma Yogi. So the Brahma Yogi became the Brahma Rakshasa, and the Mahajan became the Mudra Rakshasa. So we have two Rakshasas who are only after the self-glory and self-aggrandizement, and they are fueling the fire. And the media is their friend. Why I say this? Because a Brahma Yogi used to discover and work for truth. That was his dharma. Satyat nasti pro dharma. He used to investigate the truth as it is and give it to the society, to the human family. And businessmen used to apply that in the wealth creation. We have the same model today in 21st century. At the beginning of 21st century, this model is working the same way. The scientists are the Brahma Yogi. The scientists working in the laboratories and research institutes, investigating the truth of matter. Then this truth of matter is applied by the business houses, the Mahajan, and the media is the source, and media is the instrument of diffusion of this knowledge. Seeding of the brains of the humanity is done by the media. So we have this great crisis on our hands at the beginning of 21st century. And my dear friends and my brothers and sisters from all over the world, let me tell you this is the greatest crisis of 21st century, that the falsehood is spreading like a fire all over the planet. Because the ton of truth endowed to the scientists and the research institutes is being mortgaged to the corporate interests. So now the corporate interests could sponsor a research and influence the result of that research. So where is the truth, by the way? There is no truth anymore you can rely upon. So the humanity is without, like you are in a boat and you have no sails or you have no rowers with you. So you are stranded in the middle of the ocean of falsehood. The humanity is in big trouble. Because the media is taken over by the corporates. The holy ton of truth of the scientist is mortgaged to the corporate interests. So the Brahma Yogi has become a Brahma Rakshasa because the scientist is proliferating the falsehood. The greatest example of proliferation of this falsehood is, the contemporary example is, when the great Nobel laureates proposed the theory of consumption. The great economists who got Nobel Prizes to propose to the humanity, or especially to the Western world, where almost everybody is under credit. And when you are under credit, you are using the plastic money, and you are window shopping, you just do and use your credit card. Every one of the Western world, every person is under debt. And when you operate under debt, my dear friends, you are operating under the reactive mind. And you are in the survival mode. You don't act, you only react. So the consumer society is being driven by this perpetual debt, instrument of perpetual debt, the plastic money. And the freedom of the mind is being mortgaged to this credit card, the plastic money. So my dear friends, just uncontrollable, unrestrained consumption, even if you have to buy on credit. Good Lord, what has happened to the humanity? Because the Holy Tongue is saying that the market will go down, there will be depression if there is not consumption, so everybody must consume as much as possible. And even if you don't have money, go ahead and buy through your plastic money, and then you can pay later. My dear friends, the great bubble of housing in America was created by this plastic money phenomenon. And the responsibility lies with that Holy Tongue, the Nobel laureates who proposed those kind of theories, the falsehood, the chain of falsehood. They established the chain of falsehood on the planet. And the media is their friend. Media is their instrument. And they seed the brains of the whole humanity. My dear friends, we have to reclaim this ton of truth. And this is the greatest mission and the greatest challenge of 21st century, to claim and reclaim this ton of truth. And ask this Brahma Rakshasa to become a Brahma Yogi back again. And we have to create instruments of perpetual assistance, perpetual funds, so the research institutes and the scientists don't have to look around for the funds. And the funding must be with the kind of perpetual instruments, with the perpetual returns. And we could create those funds for the independent research. And we have to one day do it. Otherwise, there will be so much proliferation of the falsehood on earth that the humanity will be under the chaos. And nobody knows what to do. They have taken the bottom off, and the humanity has become the bottomless pit and the hell of falsehood all around. So you don't know. One day they say the milk is causing the cancer. The other day they say this is causing the heart disease, cardiac conditions. So the whole turn is being mortgaged to the corporate interests, my dear friends. And this Mudra Rakshasa, the unholy wedlock of Mudra Rakshasa and Brahma Rakshasa, is very dangerous. And the 21st century mission is to reclaim the ton of truth. And we have all that power and potential with every human being, that if we stop looking at this false glory of these few people and ignore the media, and don't let the media pollute our brains. We have that power. And we could ignore. And all they do is to condition our eyes through television, through media's print media, or the audio video, or the television. So my dear friends and my brothers and sisters, reclaim your eyes. Don't give your eyes, because your eyes are the source of creation. You are the observer. And it is so true that you have the power to collapse the wave, the quantum wave. And the quantum physics really talks about the truth. And they have done these experiments. These are the mysteries. The Statue of Liberty was erected by America to attract the whole humanity to that land, saying, "Come to me." And everybody started looking at the Statue of Liberty. My dear friends, today they are building the wall of China around them. I think they need to dismantle the Statue of Liberty. They are in hard times. They don't know how to get out of that. Their own drama. So my dear friends, reclaim your eyes, and I promise you that we could reclaim our power, which is being misappropriated, which is being hijacked by these few people, the vested interests. I'm not talking anything against anybody, but I'm talking things which are truth. And we need to reclaim this power back again. the power of the holy tongue, the power of the tongue of a Brahma Yogi and a scientist, they are in the same place, same station. So my dear friends, my brothers and sisters, we have the potential. And 21st century, we are going to have this great mission to reclaim our power, reclaim our eyes first of all, and then reclaim the humanity from this epidemic and pandemic, the global crisis of moral collapse and the global crisis of falsehood all around. Thank you very much, and have a very good morning, my brothers and sisters and all my dear friends. Thank you very much for your patience.